Sake production, how rice and water become refined flavor. Rice polishing, building the foundation of flavor. Sake making begins with rice polishing. The outer layers of sake-specific rice are milled away to remove proteins and fats that cause off flavors, leaving only the pure starch core, called shinpaku. The more the rice is polished, the cleaner and more refined the taste. For example, Daiginjo sake uses rice polished to 50% or less, creating a delicate, aromatic profile. However, deeper polishing also means higher cost and craftsmanship. Washing, soaking, and steaming, precision with every grain. After polishing, the rice is washed to remove leftover bran, then soaked to absorb water for fermentation. Soaking time is controlled down to the second, depending on the rice type and polishing ratio. Next, the rice is steamed until the starch becomes gelatinized. Ideally, the rice should be hard on the outside and soft inside, gaiko nainen, a texture that helps both koji mold and yeast work effectively. The steamed rice is then cooled to different temperatures depending on its use, for koji, yeast starter, or main mash. Koji making, where flavor and umami begin. Koji making is one of the most crucial steps in sake brewing. Steamed rice is sprinkled with koji mold and placed in a warm, humid koji room for about 48 hours. The mold produces enzymes that convert starch into sugar for fermentation and also break down proteins into amino acids, which bring umami and depth. Koji determines much of the final flavor, making this a true artisan step. Yeast starter, preparing for fermentation. Next is preparing the shubo, or yeast starter. This mixture of koji, steamed rice, water, and yeast is where fermentation begins. Lactic acid is added to control unwanted bacteria and help yeast grow. Some methods use added acid for faster fermentation, sokuho, while others rely on natural bacteria, himoto, resulting in richer, more complex flavors. Sanden jikomi, a 3-step fermentation strategy. Once the yeast starter is ready, fermentation enters the moromi stage. Here, more koji, steamed rice, and water are added in 3 stages, a method called sanden jikomi. Hatsuzo, first edition, a small amount is added to the starter. Odori, rest day, fermentation is paused to let yeast multiply. Nakazo, second edition, about 1/3 of the total is added. Tamazo, final edition, the rest is added to complete the mash. This step-by-step method allows stable fermentation, prevents contamination, and helps develop full-bodied flavor. Multiple parallel fermentation, Japan's unique brewing method. Unlike most alcoholic drinks, sake uses a rare process called multiple parallel fermentation. In the same tank, koji enzymes turn starch into sugar while yeast turns that sugar into alcohol, at the same time. This dual fermentation allows sake to reach alcohol levels of 17 to 18% while maintaining rich, layered flavors. In premium ginjo sake, fermentation happens at around 10 degrees Celsius over a month to enhance elegant, fruity aromas. Pressing, separating sake from the mash. When fermentation is complete, the mash is pressed to separate liquid sake from solid lees, sakekasu. Most sake is pressed with machines, but premium sake may use the fukurosari method, letting the sake drip naturally from cloth bags. This gentle technique produces clear, refined sake with very little harshness. Settling, filtration, and pasteurization, refining the texture. Fresh sake contains tiny particles called ori, which are settled and removed. Then, the sake is filtered, sometimes with charcoal for clarity, or left unfiltered, maroka, to preserve bold flavor. Next, high-IR or pasteurization at around 60 to 65 degrees Celsius is performed to stop enzyme activity and make the sake stable for storage. Bottling and final pasteurization, ready for the world. Before bottling, water may be added to adjust alcohol to around 15%. Quality checks are done, and a second pasteurization may be applied. Finally, the bottles are labeled and shipped, each one filled with craftsmanship and care. sake aroma and flavor change dramatically depending on the production process. Fermentation temperature shapes aroma. Pasteurization and aging affect smoothness. The choice of koji, yeast, steaming, and even small timing decisions create entirely different results. Knowing how sake is made deepens appreciation for the skill behind it, and transforms how you taste each glass.